At least it's still your team, man. Like, I hate bandwagon fans, man. I just despise them.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going back to the Cowboys. That's
the dumbest thing. How could you go back to the Cowboys? How could you, of all the places to go to, right? It's like going, like, I'm going to be a Seahawks fan now. It's like, you are a fucking soulless individual.
Yeah.
Like, you are a bad person. Like, you probably beat your dog. Like, fuck you. Literally, you had some crazy parlay, right? It was a $10 bet.
8-leg parlay, $10 bet. All 7 of them hit going into that Monday night game. All they needed was Chubb touchdown. So freaking breaks his leg on the 2-yard line. And his backup ran it in after him. He's out. I would have won $3,500 if he would have scored. And I'm sober. I have 1 beer when I get there, and they bought me a shot for my birthday. And in the closing, if I'm drunk, I'm ready to fight. I don't have fear. I'm ready. But I was sober. I didn't want to fight. So, and then next thing you know, that swing comes, hits my cousin, and I'm like, I've always been told when I was younger growing up, my uncle always told me, find the biggest guy, get him out of the fight. So what do? I find the biggest, yokest white dude there who's in our fight, and I pull him down, and I boom, I start punching him, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I got this. And all of a sudden, he just somehow pushes me across the entire room, like just bench presses me. I fly 15 feet backwards, all 150 pounds of me, and he just goes, boom, and he splits my lips, like just opened my whole face up with one punch.
I'm just Jeremy, just kind of chill guy, just enjoys sports and video games. Just kind of hate.
But Niners fan, obviously, right?
Yeah, Niners fan, huge Niners fan. Actually, Bay Area sports fan. A's, Warriors. A's are kind of disappointing all the way around this year, but
they'll be in Vegas next year, so it's all good.
Oh no, I don't know if next year. I think that's too soon. They don't have a stadium yet. So I think next year they'll still probably pay. I think the soonest they'll go is 2025, and they'll probably play where the AAA team plays right now. But I mean, who knows? That shit's always changing anyway. So
that's still going to be like 3 times their fan base, anyways. Like what that stadium holds, so it's probably all right.
Yeah. They only need a high school stadium to carry their fans, right?
Yeah, and well, I mean, like my dad's like, well, I should go to the stadium. I'm like, why are you going to go to the stadium? They don't pay for a team. Kyler Murray was drafted by the A's, so he fucked me over by not playing for the A's, and then he went to the Cardinals. I mean, granted, he's still losing to the 49ers all the time, so I don't mind, but he could have fucked me over there. And then he's making more money than in his contract than the entire A's roster this year.
Oh yeah.
How fucking embarrassing is that?
He made the right move. That's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, the A's aren't going to pay him. I mean, Matt Olson left, Sean Murphy left, Donaldson left, Chapman left, all of our good pitchers left, everyone left. So, I mean, it's good for the team to leave itself and just go somewhere else.
At least it's still your team, man. Like there's so many people that I freaking like they're Patriots fans, or they were Patriots fans because of Tom Brady, right? Like just because they were good. And I hate bandwagon fans, man. I just despise them. It's like I put so much time and effort, or as much as I can with the Cardinals, and then to have Cardinal fans just be so fair weather. Like
Just, I'm going back to the Cowboys.
That's the dumbest thing. How could you go back to the Cowboys?
I'm going back to the Cowboys.
Of all the places to go to, right? It's like going, like, I'm going to be a Seahawks fan now. It's like, well, you are a fucking soulless individual.
Yeah.
Like you are a bad person. Like, you probably beat your dog. Like, fuck you.
No, I'm with you there. I root for my teams when they're good, when they're bad. I don't know how much you watch football, but I was watching the 49ers when they had Tim Rattay and they couldn't throw for shit. Terrible team. The Warriors when they were terrible. But you got to root for them when they're doing good and you enjoy it. And then you take all the bandwagon fans because it makes your team better.
Well, just Thursday night, I was thinking, why couldn't I be a Chiefs fan instead of a Redskins fan growing up? What the fuck? I was just saying that Thursday night. I was apologizing to my wife for slowly injecting her with Redskin love.
Dude, Diamondbacks, man. I haven't followed them at all.
I didn't think the game was gonna go off that quickly, and I turned the game on in the first quarter, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And it was already 6-0 when I turned it on.
Yeah. I was we bought tickets to the Thursday playoff game.
Nice.
But there was a chance that, like, I was expecting the Diamondbacks to get swept. That's what happens all the time to Diamondbacks. They meet the Dodgers in the playoffs and then get swept. But kicking their butt, that means I'm guaranteed going to the game on Thursday. So I'm excited.
Where are you sitting?
Kind of by the bullpen, over by the bullpen area, like lower deck.
Like outfield.
Yeah, I wanted to go Wednesday, but it was all they had was upper level. So I'm like, I'll just roll the dice, see if they play Thursday. So guaranteed to play now. So I'm excited. Unless it's like an eliminate. No, it can't be an elimination game. The only way it could be is yeah. So if the Dodgers win the next 3, it could be. It would suck if I'm there and the Dodgers win it all and kick us out. That's
I think
what I
we'd blame you for it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Actually, I hear you're a Niners fan, so
yes, I am.
I'm all on board right now. They're my Super Bowl favorite right now, I think.
Yeah.
Is that just because, like, after Thursday's game, you're no longer thinking your team's going to go to the playoffs?
Dude, no. Dude, after losing to the fucking God, I was so disgusted over that game. I was so upset. I don't think I've been that upset over my team in a long-ass time. Especially since, come on, the Bears. Oh, my God.
You made Justin Fields look good.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
It's very frustrating. Oh, my gosh. It was so pathetic.
You guys were their first win.
Yeah, in 14 games since last year. Their first win
at home. It's awesome.
That's a curse of the Commanders, Redskins. They don't win primetime games, so
that's why they don't get many of them.
Yeah, exactly. That was their only one this year.
I don't think the Cardinals have one this year at all. So it's, it is what it is. Dude, I was at dinner that night and I look up and I was like, oh, who's playing? And I saw the score and I was like, I couldn't help but smile. I don't know, like,
because you're Listen, it doesn't matter. We lost to the damn Bears. Guess who we beat, though? The Cardinals. So I know we're not the worst team in the league.
Barely. You barely
It doesn't
beat us.
matter.
I felt like you were scared. I was texting you back and forth.
I was scared, yeah, but it still ended up in the W right there. I'll take it all day. We almost beat the Eagles. We go from almost beating the Eagles to getting our asses kicked. It's. I was so pissed off.
So I didn't watch the game. I was working, and then I was like, I don't really care about any of this team, so I'm not even gonna put it on. And then I saw the score, and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't put it on. But was it just bad defense? Was it bad offense? Like a little bit of everything.
It was. You know what? It was what was it? 20-0 start that they had. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just and then the second half we looked like a good team, but it wasn't enough to catch up. But. Yeah, the first half, bad offense, bad defense, all around, just garbage. It was very upsetting. Looked like the Cardinals, like all the time.
I think it's funny when you look at stats of them and you see that, like, the Commanders had more yards, more first downs. Yeah, they did have 2 more turnovers. But, like, if you just looked at, like, the yards and their offense, maybe besides the touchdowns, had better. They just couldn't get into the red zone at all. Yeah. And then, like, if you can't score points, there's not really a point. But he had, like, and Justin Fields threw the ball, I think 15 times, 20 times, and Sam Howell had to throw it, like, 50.
Yeah, the whole second half, I think they didn't run at all. I have Robinson as my running back on fantasy football, and he didn't do anything the second half at all.
You got fucked twice. That's even harder.
Dude, not as bad. He had Chubb. Chubb needed to score a touchdown.
Yep.
Literally, you had some crazy parlay, right? It was a $10 bet.
8-leg parlay, $10 bet, and I can't remember all the players I had, but all 7 of them hit going into that Monday night game. All they needed was Chubb touchdown. So I had the option to cash out for, the night of Sunday night. It gave me like $1,100 cash out, and I'm like,
for a $10 bet.
For a $10 bet, and then I'm like, all I need is Chubb. Chubb's a guarantee. So the next day, the cash out went up to almost maybe it was almost $1,300 to cash out, and I'm like, man, that's a sign they know Chubb's gonna score, so they're trying to make me cash out. I'm letting it ride, so freaking breaks his leg on the 2-yard line.
Oh my God!
Yeah, 2-yard line, and his backup ran it in after him. He's out for the season. Gosh, I would have won $3,500 if he would have scored. So.
Yeah,
but I would do it all again. I would do it all over again. I would still let it ride on a Chubb touchdown. I mean, it should have happened, but that's my Morales luck. I don't win bets like that.
Jeremy, do you do any betting?
No,
sports betting?
No. I have an addictive personality, and sometimes that I feel like if I started, then I would never stop.
Yeah,
so I'm just not gonna start.
It's a good idea.
Because I was just Harris knows, but I was just on a cruise, and so I was sitting at the casino way too much, and I was down. I mean, my mind is not that much money. I know some people lost like 5,000. One lady I was talking to, what the fuck is wrong with you? Whatever. Yeah. I was down like $300, and I was like bitching about it, And so like I don't say pull out my last 20, but pull out my last 20. I do a bet and I win $600. I'm like, all right, I'm done. So you can't get that lucky, like you said. Like you could have cashed out, but you're like, I'm gonna push for it, and it just I don't know. So no, I don't gamble. I don't gamble on sports, especially because of injuries. It's so fucking it's ridiculous. You can't predict that. You can't stop it.
And it doesn't matter how much you think you know about football. You never like I have like. Well, so I always I used to bet like the last 2 years. I've been betting I was betting a lot. I was betting, single game parlays, just $20 here, $50 there, $20 there, and I was just I would go back and forth, and overall, I think before this year started, I may have been up $300 over the last 2 years. Just tit for tat, $20 losing, $20 gaining, but. And to me, like the winning the $20 bets is just, it does nothing for me. $20, I don't care about $20. So this season, I'm only betting huge parlays. So I'm doing I'm trying to hit a jackpot. So I'm picking every game. I'm doing money line bets on every game. So it's a 15 game parlay for $10. So if I lose, I lose $10. But if I win, I win. Like the one I just did tonight, if I win, it's $6,000. So, and it really depends on what teams I'm picking. If I pick a lot of underdogs, then it pays a lot more. So I did a 15 game parlay week 1, and if that would have hit, I would have won like $16,000. So it fluctuates depending on the teams I'm picking. If I'm picking underdogs to win, then it pays more. But this one I just did is a $6,000 payout for 10. But at work, they have those. At work we used to do these sheets, and you just pick the teams every week to see who would win. I've gotten every single one of those right 3 times. So I figure if I can just, I've 3 times in the last 2 years. So if I could just hit one of them, I'll be good.
Yeah,
that's what I need. That's my plan anyway. What do you think, Chris? You don't like that?
Because you're gambling on it? Do you think that, you psych yourself out and pick the wrong team?
No. I really think, since it's only $10, I don't really take it as, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything if I lose this. So I go in there with, I'll even pick against my team. I'll do, I'll just be real. Like as much as I hate, I don't even draft fantasy football players that are Cowboys. I won't draft those players at all. It doesn't matter if they're their best available. I will not pick a Cowboy player. But when I'm making these parlays, I'm realistic. So I'll pick the Cowboys if they're supposed to win or
okay.
But I'll let you know I did not pick the Cowboys against the Niners. I think the Cowboys are trash, overrated.
Dude, Niners are
and
so
you know
good
what?
too. If
the Niners blow it, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to have to ask you your number so I could text you and talk shit, because there's no way the Cowboys should lose to the Niners. There's no way.
So
the Cowboys should beat the Niners.
Yeah. So I'll tell you that there's 3 ways we're going to lose.
No, there's no 3s. Go ahead, though. I don't want to hear it, but go ahead.
So
there's only one way to win, but there's 3 ways to lose. That's great.
We'll lose. Knock on wood, because Brock Purdy apparently is like our best player ever. So as long as he stays healthy and we keep Micah Parsons from knocking him over, so we gotta make sure we protect him. The running game will do good. That's McCaffrey's always fine. We have backup running backs who Shanahan showed that he can run with anybody. He just give him someone that can run and he can do it. But the second way we're going to lose is if we can't control the passing game. So you kind of seen even the Giants kind of they got the ball flying with us, and then they're not going to win, but their offense starts to look better.
Yeah.
So CeeDee Lamb can get real bad. Tony Pollard in the passing game can get really bad. So we just got to make sure that we get the pressure that we need, and then make sure we take care of it quickly, so they can't sit in the pocket all day. But if we take care of those 2 things, we should be good in special teams. And the third way we're going to lose is if we turn the ball over, which Purdy doesn't do. So we should be fine. But that's how Dallas has scored most of the points. I know I have Dak Prescott on my fantasy team, and he sucks ass. Yeah, because the defense does everything.
Yeah, if the defense is taking over that game, that's when it gets scary for any team the Cowboys are playing. But
yeah. But otherwise I think we got the win. We have better roster, better talent, every side of the ball. It's just those few little spots we have to watch out for.
Yeah. And I think it's a sign of a good team is not playing down to their opponent's level. So and that's kind of worried me a little bit. I mean, even though I think the Giants game, Giants made it interesting, but there was, in my eyes, Giants were never going to win that game.
No.
But teams like my teams like the Cowboys who lost to the Cardinals. I mean, it's these teams that just play down to their opponent's level if they're playing a worse team. To me, that's kind of a sign of a not really good team. Fool's gold.
Dude, I believe that the Cardinals are actually mediocre, right? I don't think that we're bad. I think that we're doing okay for the situation that we're in.
Oh, yeah. I think they're playing good football.
Like, our first 3 games of the season, we competed. Like, we should have been 3-0 coming into to play the Niners.
Well,
like,
when you say should have, you say you probably, the better word is you could have been 3-0. I don't think you should have. You lost the game. But, like, yes, you were you could have been 3-0 for sure.
Okay.
Should have is
okay.
You played teams that were better than you. That's what happened.
Yeah, dude, we should have beat the Commanders.
Should have. Could have. You could have beat the Commanders.
Okay, whatever. But we full-fledged, like, we should have and could have, motherfucker, whatever. And we did lose to the 49ers because the 49ers are just amazing. And I hate saying that. I hate it. Like, they're in our. I mean, I hate it.
Like the
freaking
game,
McCaffrey, dude, is.
Oh yeah, the game you should have won was the Giants game. You guys were killing the Giants, killing them, and then did not show
up. Was it 20 to nothing? By halftime or something?
It was an
21 to nothing.
And, dude, we had you guys freaking Commanders, man, and like through the fourth quarter, man. Like, that was our game to win.
Mm-hmm.
We were closing it out. We were doing it. Like, our defense freaking owned you guys for the most part.
Yeah, the first half, both sides were bad. I mean, like, but you guys weren't like killing us like you guys were doing the Giants. It was a close game the whole game, and you guys were leading the whole game, but then you just let it go.
But the idea was that we're this crappy team, and here we are, we're competing. And I'm just saying that we're not as bad as
Dobbs is surprisingly. I would, if I was a Cardinal fan, I would almost want him more than Kyler Murray because I freaking hate Kyler Murray. I don't like him at all.
So worried when Kyler Murray comes back when he's ready to play. I think I was reading about it that there's some weird rules, right? When you're on the like physically unable to perform list or something, and then they have like this time frame you got to come back.
Yeah,
and if you
you miss 4 games.
Then it's just, and I think he's going to miss the 4 games. Like, he's not ready.
It's already been the 4 games, so he can come back whenever he's ready now. At this point,
then I must have read an old article then because I felt like there was some other timeline that was in place.
Because Jonathan Taylor is playing this week, and he was on the PUB list before the season started, so he's supposed to play this week, so week 5.
Nice.
So yeah. So,
but dude, I don't think I'm a Kyler Murray fan, and it hurts. It, like, on the inside, as a Cardinal fan, I want to, like, I drink the Kool-Aid, like all over my face, just pour it all over me, man. I want it, exactly. So like when there's something that I don't like about a player because he's just not a good leader, man.
Yeah,
he's like, you see him pouting, and I hate it.
The thing is he's so freaking talented. That's what sucks about it. Is he can be excellent, but he's just a shitty leader.
So the PUP list, I just looked it up really quick. They're eligible to return after 4 weeks, but they can stay on the list. And I think if they stay on the list for an extended amount of time, then they're out for the whole year. And I think it's a 4 to 5 week window, but I could be wrong. But he's still on the PUP list. He hasn't been removed.
So is there a difference between PUB and IR? Because I know that like teams, there used to be a thing, once somebody was on IR, you couldn't take them off the IR. And then there was a new rule where you were allowed to take 1 or 2 people off IR. Like, you're allowed to put them on IR and then remove them from IR. But I'm not sure what the difference is here between PUB and IR.
Yeah, I think the IR is usually more like the injured reserve.
Short term.
It's more short term, and the PUP is more like you have like I think the PUP is more of a catch all for like bullshit. Like, Chandler Jones went to the PUP because he was an idiot and then he got fired. Jonathan Taylor went to the PUP. He said he was injured, but he just had a contract. So how injured was he?
Yeah.
They're not going to hand him a contract if he's injured. So, but if they put him on the IR and then the NFL does like an investigation, he's not going to show up as injured. So I think the PUP is kind of a catch-all list.
PUP is more like my hamstrings hurt, but no one can prove it. No one can prove what's going on. It's not like you have a broken Chubb leg or anything.
Yeah.
I always thought, but Chubb goes on the PUP list, right?
See, I think he goes right to IR.
Yeah, he's on the IR for the rest of the year.
Why would they put him on IR though? Because I thought if he's on IR, then can't you only have a certain number of players on IR? like physically unable to perform, that's a long term. I felt like
I think you can't go on the PUP list in the middle of the season. PUP list is before the season starts.
Oh,
yeah,
you can't put people on in the middle
season now.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a limited IR spot because then they would just fire people. I think that the collective bargaining agreement would be against that.
I think the limited thing you're thinking of is how many people can come back from IR, because normally if you're on IR the rest of the season. That's how it used to be. Now you're allowed a couple people to come off of IR. Like that's why they talk about some of these guys who went on IR and like, ooh, maybe they might be able to be back by playoff time and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, oof.
What are you drinking there?
It's vodka with Monster. And they didn't have a big one at Walgreens. And I was like, fuck it, I'm still putting 2 shots in there. And but it was strong.
I was looking at the PUP list thing because I don't like putting my foot in my mouth. The PUP list is people in the PUP list also count towards your roster count versus IR does not.
So yeah, PUP list count against the roster.
Yeah.
And then IR, you're not on the. You can have somebody replace you on the roster. I think so. But still be on the roster technically under IR.
So then when you see a lot of people go on the IR, that's when they bring someone up from the training squad. Versus PUP list, you're still active. You just can't play or do anything. You're still with the team, everything that they do. Rogers is on the IR, so.
Rogers, man.
What a smoke show that was, right? I like Rogers. I've always been a fan of Rogers. He's weird, he's off, but I've always liked him. But the whole Jets thing was such a and
it makes it seem like it was almost planned. Like, like, do you guys see those commercials that came out at the beginning of the season? Like they're writing the script for the NFL. It's almost like that. It was written. Aaron Rodgers season-ending injury, and then he's gonna come back and win a Super Bowl or some bullshit. Like, the Jets aren't gonna do it without him, but still, like, that's just. It felt like the whole thing was just written up that way. You got Hard Knocks, Netflix series, the whole thing, and then he's out the first.
Before the game, he's carrying that flag, the Jets flag in front of leading the whole team out. First drive, he's done. Achilles, gosh, that sucks.
It sucks. Like with Rodgers. Always being in our, what is it? It's not division, but conference, right? He was NFC. Yeah. And so I just hated him. And when he was doing this whole freaking belt thing, and maybe he still does that. I hate it. He was always, I think the Cardinals, we've probably beaten them 40% of the time or 45% of the time in the playoffs. It feels like, and I only know that because I was talking to a Green Bay fan one time. And he felt the same way about the Cardinals. He's like, dude, we fucking hate playing you guys in the freaking playoffs, man. We hate it. And I was like, because of these just 2 times or whatever. Yeah. But anyways, so I've never liked Rodgers. But then when he transitioned like to the Jets, and I was this way with Brady too. I was like, okay, this guy's legit. Obviously, like I respect him, and I just didn't want to see him be injured the way he was. Like that sucks to go out. It would have been great if he would have done well.
Right. It would have made football better, I think. I think that if the Jets would have been a good team this year with Rodgers, I think teams, like, it's always nice having, the teams that are always good. Those are cool, I guess. But I love it more when there's a bigger mix up where the better teams aren't as good and the teams that aren't as good are now good. I prefer that kind of football. I mean, and that's what they shoot for, right? That's
well, that's what makes football so cool is that, there's 32 teams, but there's, you can never count one team out. Like the Cardinals, like you said, they beat the Cowboys. Like you can't ever count any team out. They're all like, they're all not superstars, but, they're all stars in their own way. And then back to like the Jets. I mean, like that division would have been crazy with Rodgers stayed healthy. We got the Jets, you got Buffalo and Miami, and then even the Patriots, you can't count them out. They don't have anything. They don't have anything going for them, but you still can't count them out.
Yeah.
And so it's fun where then you have like all those little tiny little clashes that you have. It's a lot of fun, and with him going out, it just changes the whole dynamic of the season.
And every week is different. That's what's so great. Like the Miami's beating Denver 70 points to 20 or whatever, and then they get their ass kicked the following week. By Buffalo. So I mean, it's just, to me, it's just. And in Buffalo, 1 week looks like garbage, and then they come out and they look great. Like that's why I hate betting on games too, because like Titans always fuck me. Detroit always fucks me because like I think Titans are good, but then they go out and lay an egg against like Houston, and I'm like, what's going on? I can't do this,
dude. So Jeremy, I don't know if you know this. Chris coaches. Dude, is it called Pop Warner anymore?
There's Pop Warner around, but it is. I coach for a different league. It's called Santan Youth Football League. So it's just a Queen Creek thing. We don't travel like Pop Warner does. We only play. There's 8 teams in that league, and we just play 8 games against the 8 teams in that league. But I'm not coaching this year. This is my first year I'm watching.
But like Brock Purdy was like, you guys played against him.
Yeah.
Like your team played against Brock Purdy, right?
Yep. So my son is Brock Purdy. My oldest son is Brock Purdy's age. And so I coached the Cardinals in the Santan Youth Football League, and Brock Purdy paid for the Special Forces. And Brock Purdy, when we played him the first year, so the Special Forces always knocked us out. They had the best teams. We would make the playoffs. They would kick us out. So one year, the first year we played against Brock Purdy's team, Brock Purdy wasn't even the starting quarterback, right? So my brother kind of knew Brock Purdy's dad, so he he ran into him at Home Depot or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, get your son over on our team. He'll guarantee start on our team as quarterback. Like he would definitely start as quarterback on our team." And Dad's like, "Yeah, well, we'll talk about it. I'll think about it. Let's see." So we were like kind of getting
so if he didn't start, how did you even know Brock Purdy was good?
Because he played. Okay, so we knew him. We knew his family. So my wife coached Brock Purdy's daughter in softball. So we kind of just always were around the same park. So we were watching Little League. My daughter was playing softball, and the boys' Little League was on the other field over there. We go over there and watch Brock Purdy at 10 years old hitting dingers over the fence. He was an athlete, always was an athlete, and we knew he was an athlete. But he was on Special Forces where it was kind of a Mormon team. So mostly Mormon started. So it wasn't like. So we're trying to tell him, "Hey, come over here. You're guaranteed to start." Because he would switch.
And
is
Purdy not a Mormon?
No, he's not
a Mormon.
No, he's not. But he would switch. He would get playing time. So they would do dual quarterback stuff, and so he'd get playing time or he'd play other positions. But he was always just an athlete, and that is the one thing we were missing was a decent quarterback on our team, because we held with everybody because our run game was so great, and then but our quarterback play wasn't that great. So, but yeah, so we tried to recruit him, and he ended up staying with the Special Forces. Still didn't start that second season. He played a lot more than the season before, but he still didn't even start on that season, even though he was the better quarterback.
What age group was this? Like right
this
like
was
pre-high school, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, 12 and 13 probably.
Okay.
So 11, 12, 13 area. So, like Pop Warner, I guess. It used to be called back in the day midget and junior midget. So I don't know if they call that anymore.
There's no way they call it that anymore. There's no way.
No,
right?
You don't think so?
No way.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Did he play high school football in the Queen Creek area?
He ended up going to high school at Perry. So it's Chandler. It's very south.
Okay.
Very south Chandler. So,
and did Chris Jr.'s team play them at all? Or were they like 5A versus 4A? Like it didn't happen.
Chris, like the high school team, Chris only played his freshman and sophomore year, so he didn't play past them. But I don't remember them even playing Perry, so I could be. I don't remember that part. Like once he was out of Queen Creek and Perry, he kind of left the Queen Creek circle, so he wasn't in the Queen Creek circle as much as he was before as a youth. So.
Well, even back then, that circle must have been pretty small because Queen Creek is getting bigger. But back then, he probably would like 50 neighbors. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely Queen Creek's. Yeah, it's definitely grown for sure in the last 10 years. But yeah, back then it was a small community, and that's why we knew the Purdys. We played. My wife coached the sisters in softball, and we were always at the same parks, always seeing each other. So that's why I've always been. Man, I'm always rooting for Purdy. Man, I love the local boy. I was so upset when the Niners drafted him, Mr. Irrelevant, because I was really hoping that my team would draft him because he's a winner. He's always been a winner throughout every level. He's been a winner. So I just really wanted him on my team, but you guys won the lottery there for sure.
It always makes you think of like what the GMC when they go after quarterbacks. Like Kyler Murray has some kind of talent. Like we're not going to dispute that, but his personality wise, he's an asset.
Yeah.
And so where Brock Purdy on the other hand is like let me do it for the team. Like, oh, I'm a captain, cool. Like that's exciting. He's so genuine. Like I wonder how they can do a better job of drafting players for the team versus players for themselves.
And with Brock Purdy, he's not putting up numbers. I mean, like he's not the best passer, or he makes mistakes, but he just doesn't make mistakes to cost him games. He's a good field general. He's just poised. I think he's excellent. Yeah. I think it was the absolute right move to keep him and get rid of all the other quarterbacks by far.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
So my last year, my fantasy team, I drafted him after we had like our everyone got injured.
Yep.
So I had him on my team. So my name turned to pretty average, because I was like, well, my fantasy team sucks, but Purdy's doing great. Well, this year I drafted him, and now my team is pretty great because he's fucking fantastic. So
nice.
Yeah, no, I'm always gonna be a fan of him. But it's cool that those little small stories of when you can meet an athlete when they're younger, and to know that that they're cool and
but I mean, like he would probably not have a clue who I am. You know what I mean? Like he like maybe if he said, hey, remember the coach from the other team that you guys always knocked out? Oh yeah, that
big
loser
with that big ass hat.
Yeah, he always wore the big shade hat. I always had my big Redskins shade hat on the field and stuff.
That's funny.
It's too hot out there, man. Those games burn me. I'm too white. I go out there and I burn.
So you coach the Cardinals in youth football, but you wear a freaking Redskins hat?
Yeah, fuck the Cardinals, dude.
You can't change your name to be a different
name?
No,
because it was a club. It was I coached for the Cardinals club, so the name the Cardinals was throughout the whole club, all levels. So
okay, are you the head coach?
I was the head coach for several. So this is the first year I am not coaching. I was the head coach for. I coached my oldest son. I've been coaching youth football for many, many years. Probably total of 12 years or so or more.
You got any cool players going professional?
Nope. The only one that the only one in the league. I mean, there's a few kids from the league. Like the league puts out emails every time one of our Santan youth football players from any team goes signs a college contract, commits to a college. So that's always news. But Brock Purdy's the only one who's, I believe, made it to the NFL that I know of. So, but that's pretty much par. You know what I mean? Like, what is it?
It's probably better than
1 in 100,000 kids even get a chance for for college, and then it's even more for NFL. So
yeah. All right. Well, so I got two more questions for you. Well, but I'll let Chris' question go first. Of why'd you stop?
Why'd I stop? I stopped because I just wanted so Jake didn't play last year. My son didn't play last year football. He was kind of.
Who's your youngest son? Right?
My youngest son, Jake. He was like, I don't want to play football anymore, I'm not one to push, and I'm not, I don't want you to hate football because I'm making you play football. So he didn't want to play, and then so we went to go watch his buddies play in the playoffs last season. And, the center was really bad, snapping the ball over the kids' heads. And my son plays center. He's like, Dad, I should have played. He was really bumming that he didn't play. He's like, I could totally do that. I can totally be better. They probably could have won the game if they had a center that wasn't snapping over their head. And so he's like, you know what? I'm going to play next season. So I'm like, sweet. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not. I was already stepped out. I'm not going to. I don't even want to volunteer to help because I just want to watch my son. So all the years I've coached, I've never got to watch my kid play because I have to watch everything. I have to watch everybody. So I've never been able to focus on what my son does. So it's nice. I get to just watch him, not worry about anything else. And that's what I want to do this year. I want to be a parent. I want to watch. That's why I stopped.
That's cool.
And plus I'm at a point where I don't think I can give them anymore. You know what I mean? Like I've a lot of these boys I coached from 6 years old and now they're all 13. And I've given them all I know. I'm not the greatest football mind in the world. I always ran our offense and head coach, but I feel like I've given them all I got. So I don't think I can give them anymore. So
you think about going to I don't know what you do professionally, but like high school coaching professionally, or did that interest you at all?
Oh yeah, that was always a dream for me, is to coach high school football. Like my little brother, Jesse, he's coaching his son. Which is so odd. I'm so jealous. I'm like, oh man, I love it, but it's such a commitment. I would look forward to every football season, but once it started, I'm like, oh my God, it's so much. I don't have time for family. I don't have time for anything. So like it engulfed my whole life for the entire football season. So it was very strenuous and very, a lot. So I don't think I would take an opportunity if an opportunity came to coach high school football. Only because I just don't have time for that anymore. I don't, in my younger years, I would have been all right with that.
Okay.
But
it's probably good because I don't think any high schools want you to coach, right? Like no one's reached out.
Fuck you. No, but
like
that's
how many championships did you win in youth football? Let's be honest.
Do you see that? I don't know. Okay, you can't see that. Huh? See that big ass trophy right there, about there?
So that's
a
just one.
That's a championship
just
trophy.
One of them.
One. It doesn't matter. People go there.
12 years. 12 years. You got one.
How many championships does the Cardinals have, Chris? How many Super Bowls?
Dude, I coach. Dude,
zero. There's people who go their entire lives without winning a championship. Guess what? Guess who has? Me.
I coach Prescott Special Olympic basketball.
That's cool.
We have all the championships.
Actually, didn't we win some softball championships too? You and I in Special Olympics.
We did. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
I'm just saying that's so no one's reaching out. That's probably the main reason. I'm just pointing that out. I love you, brother, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like
No, I mean like so say. Okay,
dude, I'm trying to mess with
nobody's
you.
Gonna reach out to me because they know me. I'm just saying, like, if I got into if I got into the football community, I would market myself if that's something I wanted to do. Like, I could, I even Jesse was telling me, "Oh, you should come help," and I know I'm like, no, not interested.
Cool, right on.
Well, Harris, I want to get into your Special Olympics. I still got more questions for Morales, and I'm sorry to take over the podcast.
Go.
That's not mine.
No, do it, brother. Do it.
So I, me and my friends think we're like NFL experts, which we're not. We're just, like people who like to talk a lot. And I kind of think that the talent pool for NFL is going to start going downhill pretty quick, and you can kind of see that with defenses already, because I feel like there's less kids playing now. I was a fat ass that dislocated both my ACLs, so I didn't play football in high school. But and my high school is pretty shitty, so it doesn't even matter. But do you see less kids being more involved in football than baseball because of the safety hazards? Or it's kind of what you read about a lot is that less kids are showing up to football camp, and so then I would imagine that there's less of a talent pool that's going into like higher levels.
I you know what, in Queen Creek, just in that Santanthi Youth Football League, I think we had maybe 2 seasons where I was worried about football, the life of football. But this season, these teams are stacked. They're so deep. They have their full rosters. All there was teams where I coached where I only had 15 kids on my team. Where I'm like, these kids have to play both ways, and then only 2 of them are really good. The other ones are like so bad that they wouldn't even start on any other team. You know what I mean? So it was so hard to have practices. So hard to practice. You couldn't do 11 on 11. You'd have to do half your line versus half the line.
Yeah.
But I did feel that before, and I do get a lot of parents, even my brother. I always told him, put your boys in tackle football. And because the kids played flag football forever, they don't know how to hit, and then by the time they go into high school and want to play tackle football, they're going against grown ass men who know how to fucking hit, and they're not, they will kill you. You know what I mean? So you're going there, you've never been hit. Boom. I've seen kids who played flag football and came in, and the first time they got hit, even though they were super talented, they're done. They're like, oh my God, this is not for me. Yeah. I got to go play baseball. So, and I think a lot of parents are, because of all the concussion news from years ago, parents were not letting their kids play tackle football.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a small wave of less talent as that wave goes through. So I want to say, when did that Will Smith movie come out? 5 or 6 years ago?
Probably something like that.
And I want to say that's when we had that dip in that youth football. And I want to say that dip football, so that low dip is growing up right now. So we'll see how it affects college and NFL, but I don't see it affecting it long term at all. I don't see it. I think the technology is better, the coaching is better. When I was
not at youth football levels, man.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. When I was a kid playing football, my coach would tell me, put your head down and put it right in their chest. That's what they taught us. They taught us to put our head down and hit them with the crown of our head anywhere we can, because that's going to fuck them up. Now, there's so much concentration on proper hitting, keeping your head up. Less concussions will happen now, because of the proper coaching and technology of the helmets and stuff. Now these kids have, during practice, they have these padding on their helmets that they wear over their helmets during practice, so that there's less. It's way better, and it's definitely, coaching is better by far. Yes, do you have shitty parent daddy coaches who suck? Yes, but overall, every coach that volunteers for this league has to take a concussion protocol classes before coaching and all this stuff. Not that that's,
You've taken those classes and they're shit. I've taken them. They're shit.
They are, but it's also awareness. So
you're 45 minutes.
But you're thinking about it now. So where they never even made you think about it.
That's true.
Like, you got your bell rung. That's what we would say. Oh, you just got your bell rung. Shake it off and come back in a couple more plays. Now it's like, oh shit, you got your bell rung. You're not playing the rest of the game. You know what I mean?
Dude, I remember I was in, I only played Pop Warner, I think, for like 2 or 3 years. But I remember like one practice just getting a killer headache. And I believe I had a concussion.
Oh, yeah.
And just continuously like going and like trying to fight it. And, practices were like 2 hours at night or something like that.
In the summer in Arizona in August, it's
baking. And just like taking it to this point where I just couldn't do it anymore. And I remember like walking back, like, I have to go home. Like I can't like, and so I agree, like that's not happening anymore. But I didn't know that the technology changed. I feel like helmets in the NFL are way better than what we have. Like
the helmets in our leagues, like they are way better. They are way, way better by far.
They actually fit.
Yeah, they actually fit. They're better technology. They're just lighter. Nice. They don't weigh like 7 pounds. You know what I mean? They used to weigh 7-pound helmets, that these kids,
they were so heavy.
They hurt your neck, just supporting that weight.
Some kids would wear they would have the roll.
Yeah. To help them.
Yeah. And I was like, I want one of those just because they look cool.
Yeah. But now these helmets weigh ounces. You know what I mean? They weigh less than a pound sometimes, or just over a pound. So the technology is way better. It's way, way better for everything. Shoulder pads, everything. Everything's way better. Only thing that hasn't changed are knee pads and thigh pads and butt pad. That's it. Those are all the same.
And those are still just going to be fluffy things, right? They're just
like a lot of kids don't even wear knee pads anymore. Like, how you notice in the NFL that how they only have the thigh pads and they don't even have pads cover their knee. Mm-hmm. I see that coming down into the youth and high school football.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's someone who has bad knees, so.
Yeah.
All right. So, sorry, now back to Harris. So, Special Olympics, how'd you get into that? And then, like, the coaching that seems like a really big commitment and like a lot of time. And I don't have any kids, and I have zero patience for kids. So, that's something I'd absolutely never fucking do. But, that's cool that you do it.
Yeah. So, my brother's special needs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think is the proper way to say it. He's 44, but it's like he's like in some aspects he's 6, in some aspects he's 14.
Okay.
Depending on how you want to. So he got involved in Special Olympics, I think real late in life. And so when I was about 19, I started volunteering in Chandler with Chandler Special Olympics. And even Chris, got involved. And we did softball and basketball. And what was really good about Chandler and even Special Olympics in general is they have something called unified sports, where the goal is to, like usually these kids, man, they grow up and they're always different, like they're always outcast. They go to a special classroom in school, like, they go to resource or whatever, whatever they called it back then. And so unified sports was to be, hey, like everyone's equal. And so if it was a basketball team, you're going to have what we would call 2 partner athletes, quote unquote, normal people out
coaches.
there.
Didn't we call them coaches back in Chandler Day?
We call them coaches. Yeah. But like the technical term is partner athlete. And then you would have 3 Special Olympians. So that's what your 5 on the court was made up of. And so like, hey, everyone's equal. And holy cow, that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
We also lived in an area, the East Valley of Arizona, Phoenix, and where super competitive, where there's practically Special Olympians that could dunk on you.
Oh yeah.
and the box you out and knee you in the nuts and laugh at you on the way back.
Yeah.
And like these guys were like they couldn't talk well. They couldn't budget money, like 100% handicapped, but somehow basketball was their secret. Like that was
or
their
just
superpower,
athletes,
man.
pure athletes. It didn't matter,
sure.
right? Like they were just athletes. And then, like, I don't know if Chris ever felt this, but like when we played the unified sports, you'd always get the eyeballs and wondering, is that guy special needs or not? So Chris got more of those looks than I did, but it was
fuck you.
But yeah, it was.
Is he Down syndrome or not? I don't know. What is he? I don't know. Maybe.
No. But I remember always thinking, always looking and say, this guy is way too good to be special needs. This guy's kicking my ass up and down the court or hitting home runs on us in softball. So but no, it was tons of. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all good. So then as life progressed, right? Like, moved up here to Prescott, Arizona, and then brought my brother up with me and figured out what Special Olympics was doing up here, and then they needed help. And so I'd kind of always been an assistant coach for a long time, as I gotten older. And then up here, I just, for the last 10 years, I've been coaching just basketball Special Olympics. And it's rewarding, but it also, and this is going to sound like I probably shouldn't say it, but fuck it. It's like herding cats at times.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's they're because it's the same concept. Sometimes they're 6, sometimes they're 14. They're never 40, and so like there's the even if they're 14 in their head, they still have aspects of 8 years old. And so it's tough. But they get so much fun out of it. And so, I would think if my brother ever stopped playing, I'd like to think I'd still do it. But it's fun. But dude, even that is just one night a week, right? It's Monday nights only right now. It's from 6:30 to 8. And it feels like it eats up my week, dude.
Yeah. And
it's just one night. And I'm not foolish to know that it really is eating up my week, but I don't know how you did it, Chris, with
was rough.
football. Yeah. Multiple practices a week.
I must say that time when how many years did I play with you in Chandler? It had to have been, it was several years, right? Because we played several softball years. We played
3 to 5 years.
Yeah, for sure. At least, probably, I think at least 5 years. And that was some of the most fun times. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. The teammates, they were just excellent. All the coaches and our partner athletes were just amazing people, because only amazing people do these kind of things. You know what I mean? That kind of just shows how awesome Chris is, really. And he brought me. I would have never done it unless he brought me into it. And it really takes someone special to volunteer to do stuff like that. And that's just, I always admire Chris continue doing this as well. I mean, me coaching my son and coaching football, it's nothing compared to, volunteering for Special Olympics and helping all these special needs people and making impacts in their life. And I love it.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for making us look bad.
Yeah.
Dude, anytime.
Yeah. Well, I'm just a natural asshole, so I already said that up front. So I just don't have the patience or the care.
Well, you're a Niners fan, so it's a Cowboy fan or Niner fan. I mean, you fit. Just kidding.
No, it makes sense. No, but no, really, like, I think as you get older, like your priorities change. So, not to say Chris is that much older than me, but maybe when I'm hit 50-ish, what are you, Chris? I'm 45.
How old are you, Chris? I'm 40. Me? I'm 45.
Which,
42.
Both 42. Okay, so maybe when I hit 40, maybe my priorities will change in that.
Oh, fuck you. How old are you?
I'm 30.
30, Jetson. Oh, you're just a baby.
Dude, that's what sucks with getting old, man. Yeah. Like I work with all these freaking people, and I think they know like Mythbusters and shit, right? Like they know these shows that I grew up with, like He-Man and G.I. Joe or whatever. Thundercats. Thundercats. Oh man,
Thundercats was dope. I did like Thundercats. I had a cool dad who we watched all those cartoons.
Oh yeah,
so.
Yeah, on reruns. Yeah, you motherfucker.
We watched them as they were coming out.
Yeah, not on Netflix, asshole. But then and like in freaking to find out that they're 12 years younger.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Yeah, dude, 15 for me, man. Jeez, I was
you're
almost
old. Like you're used to it. That makes sense.
Well, you know what? Though, at least I look younger than all you guys here. So, I mean, if someone would probably guess, they'd probably think that I'm the youngest out of the three. So,
only because you're wearing a hat.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I have a 5 head and my hairline's receding a bit.
My wife makes me keep a beard because she's 9 years older than me, so she doesn't want me to look too young. So if I got rid of this, then I'd look like a baby again. And I get carded everywhere I go, which I absolutely hate.
Oh yeah.
That's why I go to Walgreens, because they always card me. But then they card 90-year-old ladies, and they don't have their ID, and it's painful to watch them when they're trying to buy their 5th of vodka.
I'm like, come on, you know I'm of age, fuckers.
Yeah, but like the computer can't let it through without scanning. Like, I'm so sorry, I can't. There's nothing I can do.
Like, I hate that. I hate that. Like it used to be. Come on, I have gray hair everywhere. You know I'm old enough. Let me just sell me beer. Damn it.
All right, dude, I'm going to play something here if I can make this work. So, Chris, I want to know, like, what does this make you think of?
Damn it. Is this going to hurt my feelings? Go ahead. Just do it. I fucking hate you already. I hate you. I knew. All right, shut it off. I get the picture. We see it. Wow, that's a.
So what happened there, right? Like I can tell you my side of it, right?
Well, how about you tell me what you think happened to Daniel Jones there? What do you say?
Well, the only experience I have with it is that he was probably like, holy shit, for the first time in my life, I get to run for a touchdown. It's been, I don't know how long when this came out, it's been a few years since this happened, but he probably hasn't run that far for a touchdown in a long time. And he's like, finally, I get my first running NFL touchdown. And
listen,
and he passed out is what I think.
When I saw that video, or when I was watching that game, I was literally watching that game when it happened, or I had it, I have my TV set up or all my multiple games on. When that happened, I instantly felt like someone punched me in my dick so hard because I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming because I got texts from people I haven't talked to, Facebook messages, people I haven't talked to in 20 fucking years. You know what I mean? Like that. Like it was. Dude, I have so many regrets in life. So many, I've done a lot of stupid shit. I have a mean, nasty ex-wife. All kinds of things.
Contracted herpes.
Herpes, syphilis, all that stuff. If there's one thing I would change, it would be this story I have to tell now because of this motherfucker. But
this is going to become a YouTube short. Go ahead.
So, all right. So I went to Tempe High. I played football there. That was my senior year. I played football my entire life, from 8 to 18. I played for 10 years at that time. And I was always a slower kid, or I never got the ball. I was always offense or defensive line. But
which is weird because you were always thin, right?
Yeah,
you were like $150.
Well, listen, in 1996, I was probably 150, and I was the smallest starting offensive lineman in the state. You know what I mean? I think it was out of 2A, 3A, 4A, all the lower divisions. Nobody was 150-pound starting left guard.
At 5'8" too, right?
At 5'8", yeah. I stopped growing in 8th grade. So everywhere I stopped growing in 8th grade. I just wish that one section would keep growing, but it never did either. But I was good. I was a good football player. I was just aggressive. I was athletic. I was just good. I was all right. So we were playing Thunderbird, and this is probably about four games into the season, and I was playing defensive line. I was starting defensive line and starting offensive line, and I had recovered probably 3 or 4 fumbles that game already. And I'm like, okay, I got to pick the ball up and run it because we're coached we're linemen. We're not supposed to pick them up and run. We're supposed to jump on the ball, cover it. That's our job. So I was telling myself, if I get another fumble in front of me, I got to pick it up and run. And not even the very next play, somebody came in, popped that quarterback. The ball flew out of his hand. It was bouncing. I did a perfect scoop. I scooped that motherfucker, and I'm running. And I'm running as fast as I can. And I turn around, and the closest player to me is 20 yards away from me is my own players. The other team we were already beating that team 64-0. Right? And I'm running, and I look, and the other team wasn't even chasing me. And I'm running. I'm like, this is gonna happen. I glance to the stands. I see my mom. Go baby, go! And I'm just running. I'm running, and I don't know what happened. Next thing you know, I'm on my back, and I look up, and all my players are around me in a circle. That Chris, you all right? You all right? And I see the referee in the corner, and he goes, "You're one moment of glory, and you blew it." And I just started bawling.
Wait, did the ref tell you that?
No, yeah, the ref said that. You're one moment of glory, and you blew it. And I start crying, and I knew I was close to the end zone. I'm thinking maybe I was close enough to fall into it. No, I literally. Do you see how Daniel Jones's legs got all wobbly? Yeah. That's what my legs did, and I ended up falling and sliding on my back at the 2-yard line, and I never made it in. So I was so very upset about that. To this day, it still really, really hurts. So at the end of the season, Tempe High, we did full assemblies. So the whole school was go to the assemblies, all grades.
Dude, I forgot about this.
Chris was there about this at that time, right? Yeah. And so they always play the highlight film of the season, and we made it all the way to the quarterfinals that year. So we were one game away from making it to the state championship. We were a really good team. And what do? They show that fucking replay. They show it in regular motion, and they show it in slow motion, and you just see my leg just going all just like just rubber legs, and everybody's fucking laughing at me. The entire student body is laughing at this, and it really hurts still to this day. And I still get messages. I still get anytime I see I went to my 20-year reunion, like how long? It's been a long while now, 5, 6, 7 years now. I told my wife, I go, I don't know how I'm going to handle it when people bring this up, because it still burns so bad to this day. And 90% of the people, Chris, do you remember? Like, motherfucker, of course I remember. You think I fucking forgot? Do you remember when you did that? Yes, I fucking remember. I remember it every fucking time. Every day I think about that still. So yeah.
How many?
Thank you, Chris.
So, dude, I'm curious. Yeah, no, but so serious question. How many touchdowns did you score in your football career?
Zero. How
many touchdowns? How many touchdowns did Jesse score in his football career?
Yeah, okay, so
your brother.
Both my brothers. So Jesse and Tommy, they were both running backs. They scored many touchdowns throughout their touchdown football careers.
How many touchdowns did your dad score probably in his football career?
Probably some. But you know what? That is one saving, like one thing that I'm grateful for is my dad.
That it stops with you?
No.
Oh, sorry.
My dad wasn't at that game. He wasn't there. So like, it would have been, my dad would have never let me live that down. It would have been so much worse if my dad was there. My mom was like, oh my God, I was so proud because I had a really fucking good game. I recovered 5 fumbles that game. 5 fucking fumbles. I had many tackles. I blocked my ass off. And I probably picked up that ball at our
It was far.
Yeah, I ran
10.
50 yards, 40, 50 yards.
I felt like it was more than that. But yeah.
I ran almost the length of the field. Just like that fucking Daniel Jones. So,
dude, so I talk shit. I've never scored a touchdown, right? Like, I'm lucky when I can nail a 3-pointer. But I was in band, right? So like just to go show how unathletic I was, right? So I remember being in the stands, and you were the most popular kid that I knew. You know what I mean? Like, we were friends, and so like it was cool.
Wait, that's my friend.
And I remember doing that. Like we were doing some like dorky band shit or whatever. I'm like trying to hit on some girl who like doesn't even like, she's probably autistic. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck do I know? And then I remember like looking up because the crowd goes crazy, and I'm like, whoa, like what was your number? Like 86 or something?
Yeah, 61.
Yeah. And so I was like, whoa. That's Chris. That's my friend. That's my friend. That's my. And I'm like, dude, I know. And then like you fell, and then I was just like, what happened? Like, and I was like, he's not my friend. But
so that's
how I remember.
So did you legit pass out? Like you woke up like not knowing what happened?
All I know is I was running, and next thing you know, I was on my back. So I must have not been breathing the whole time I was running. I don't know what. I really can't explain it. Like I've had like I get wobbly legs, so I'll run like Daniel Jones does. Like when I used to play softball for all these years, I played softball with Special Olympics and not with Special Olympics. I'm actually fast, so I was always a fast person, and I would hit inside the park home runs all the time. And when I would round third, my legs would get wobbly, and I would lose balance and I would fall. This wasn't that. I was out. I remember, like, I don't even remember. I remember just opening my eyes and there was a group of people around me and that fucking referee. Fuck that guy. I cried for 2 days. I literally cried for 2 days after that.
Oh, okay, so but at least it's not Mark Sanchez butt fumble. It's not that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
That's on national television and he did that. So would you have rather? So now you're popular. I mean, you're probably already popular, but now you're like popular forever because now everyone saw that entire clip. Would you rather have not been remembered at all, or be remembered for that clip?
No. I wish that would never have happened. I wish I would have made that touch. I'm telling you. I'm trying to think of the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I was stung by a scorpion. I was pepper spray in my eyeballs for no reason. I was arrested. I would do all that 10 times if I could just score that fucking touchdown. If I could just score that fucking touchdown. And you know what? Fuck my high school and fuck my coaches, because you know what? They knew how upset I was. My coach even told me, quit crying. It's football. Get over it. Okay, yeah. Well, I was upset. Guess what? I think almost because we were a really good team that year, that we would be running up a lot of scores a lot. And all of a sudden they'd give a lineman a ball carried for a touchdown or something. Did they ever give me the fucking ball to carry? No, they never fucking did. So fuck them. And fuck,
because they knew you'd pass out.
No, so I was gonna ask, was the pass out in the early of the season or late in the season?
it was week. It was early, so it was I think it was our fourth game.
I think you answered your question.
Yeah. I would want that to. I would take that back. I would take it. I would even not even. I would rather not even ever grab. I would have just jumped on it. If there was never, I mean, I just don't. I wouldn't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate that thing about. That is what I hate about myself. Is that right there? Fucking hate it. I still think about it all the time.
The traumatic event.
Yeah, it hurts.
Well, dude, I'll be honest. I feel a little bad.
You know what? Good.
Yeah.
Fucking glad.
Not going to cut it out though. I mean, but let me ask you.
I do understand it's an entertaining story. I've told this. It's easier for me to tell this story now than it was 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Or like it hurt. Like it hurt really, really. Like as I get older, it doesn't hurt as bad. I know it's funny. I know it's entertaining, but it still burns, but not as bad as it did. So
dude, I could assume like it makes sense, right? Like it was your. Like all jokes aside, right? Like I remember you having that pressure, or at least like that. That's what you told me right away after it. Is that like, dude, like inside your living room at the old house, like when we grew up, your dad just having a wall of trophies, or at least that's how I remember it, right?
Right.
And knowing that Jesse is this super athlete, that Tommy's this super athlete, and then you're a lineman,
yeah,
and this was your chance, and you blew it.
I did. It was my one moment of glory, and I blew it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's my last dig, dude. So let me play something else for you guys if I could, because it's going to be fun here.
Is this gonna be a nut kick as well, or no?
I'm digging through Reddit, and after I found that clip of, and I immediately thought of you, Chris. Obviously,
yeah.
I found this one. I was like, well, I got to play this for you guys too. So
I liked how you got that picture of my high school. How'd you do that?
Да пиздец, блядь, ёб твою мать, да вы чё, блядь?
Yeah, play that. What just happened? Oh shit! Okay, that's what we missed. Holy crap! Wow. Yeah,
that's awesome, right?
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah. No, but finding your photo took a lot of deep searching on the internet. That's the only one I could find. And it didn't even look like you. I felt like, I was like, who is it? I was like, I guess that's what Chris looked like. I was like, damn.
I think I'm really happy you didn't find the original video now that I know how much upset it makes him, because that would have been a deal breaker.
That was my goal.
I've looked for it too, because it like I had a copy of it, but it was a copy of a copy of a copy of a VHS.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality was so bad. I finally got my hands on it like 5 years later, and when I got it, it was so bad. Like you couldn't even see. It was just so bad. But I looked like I saw that they did.
Yeah, it was like 1996.
It was, right? Yeah. But like I did see some I was just even trying to find a game, our playoff game on TV, because that was on TV in '96, and I was trying to just find that, and I couldn't find it. So, but yeah, it was
nice. But dude, so sadly, my Reddit feed is nothing. It's probably an equal combination of people like dying, street fights, also porn, and it's just this like plethora of just like chaos, man. And so I saw that double car hit, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, how hard did he have to get hit to bounce into the other car?
Oh yeah,
I love
very hard. Yeah, that was.
Now, did it show the end of the clip of him getting up, or we don't know what happens?
Well, the one guy was trying to help him up, look like, but
which is dumb because like you could tell it's in another country.
Yeah.
They picked up his hands and like dragged him. Which the first thing I thought of is like, that's like, you got to secure the neck.
Yeah, this guy's fucked up. Yeah, every bone in his body's broken right now.
Maybe they already thought he was dead, and he was like, let's just drag him off.
Let's get him off the street so this traffic can move.
So when I was younger, I would have just laughed my ass off of that video. But now I feel like morally, as I get a little older now, I only feel okay laughing if I know the person's okay. But that shit made me laugh, and I don't even know what happened to him. But it's still funny.
Yeah, that's one thing that, I still have that instant laugh response.
Have you seen that video of that tire hitting that guy in the back of the head and him going straight into the floor?
Yes. Oh, that's
like,
so awful.
Came off the floor. Like he died, and then like, you think like really hard, like don't laugh, and then you see the tire just.
No,
just so
I
random.
laugh.
What video?
Dude, this person is this the one where the guy's just walking down the street or something, and then all of a sudden this fucking runaway tire off a freeway coming at 50, 60 miles an hour that way.
Yeah,
fucks that person up, like fucks him up, and I'm
They're
like,
dead.
oh my god,
yeah.
Like
it hits them and like they just slam.
Oh
down.
yeah.
That's just crazy.
Dude, I've been on, heading up to northern Arizona. Like we, it starts winding up these roads or up this hill, and I've seen a bouncing tire by itself. Like I've seen that, and it's just those like cars are going all slow, and it's just
those do so much damage to your car too. They'll fuck your car up too if they hit it.
Dude, if it hit your
windshield,
car, it's ruined.
Yeah.
If it hits your windshield, you're dead.
Yeah.
The people in your back seat are dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's scary. Yep.
All right, here's another one.
All right, give it to me.
Put on a show for me, baby. I'm a white boy. White trash motherfucker. Trash motherfucker.
So he's getting tased, right?
Right.
That's what he's doing.
They just let him fall. They don't catch his head.
No.
I mean, was that warranted?
No. I mean, that's like you getting pepper sprayed,
Do you
right?
think he should have been tasered there? I mean, I'm just curious.
I think that someone told him something, and he got up in someone's face, and so
they tased him, huh?
So what happened with your pepper spray? Let's hear that story.
Well, I'm just a fun-loving guy. I'm not a I there was I had angry years in between my marriages, did a lot of drinking, did a lot of fighting, but it was all in fun. This time it was my birthday. Well, actually, let's go back. So the previous year, 2 birthdays in a row, I think on my 26th birthday, I was sober. I went out to the bar after I was hanging with my girlfriend, and I met my brother and his friends at the bar. And I'm sober. I have 1 beer when I get there, and they bought me a shot for my birthday. And in the closing time was 1:00. So they said, "Hey, last call." And then these group of guys were trying to fight my cousin and my brother and a few friends we had there. And I'm like, oh man, I'm sober. If I'm drunk, I'm ready to fight. I don't have fear, I'm ready. But I was sober. I didn't want to fight. So I was telling the guys, "Hey, come on, guys! They just did last call. Let's stop. Let's call it here." And he was like, "No, I want to kick that guy's ass." I go, "Come on, man, that's my cousin. Let's not do this. Let's just go home. We're cool." And then next thing you know, that swing comes, hits my cousin, and I'm like, "Fuck!" And I'm thinking, okay, well, I've always been told when I was younger, growing up, my uncle always told me, find the biggest guy, get him out of the fight. So what do? I find the biggest, yokest white dude there. who's in our fight, and I pull him down, and I boom, boom, boom. I start punching him, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I got this. And he just all of a sudden he just somehow pushes me across the entire room, like just bench presses me. I fly 15 feet backwards, all 150 pounds of me, and I'm on my back, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucking dead because this guy's coming up, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I'm trying to do the defense kick, kick him away from me. I'm on my back, and he just goes, and he splits my lips, like just opened my whole face open with one punch. And then I'm like, dunk, and I hit my back of my head, and I'm like, fuck. Anyway, that was one birthday. So I got my face. And then, so the next year, I'm really drunk, and we had fun. It was one of my favorite birthdays. I danced with girls. I was making out with chicks. I was doing it was great. And we're leaving. I'm looking for my brother because he was there, and he had left, my older brother, and he had gone. He didn't say goodbye, so we were delayed. So anyway, we were walking out of the bar, me, Bruce, and my little brother. Well, Bruce was walking in us, and this big yoked out testosterone guy bumps Bruce, and Bruce is like, "What the hell's your problem?" And then he bumps my brother Jesse. And Jesse's like, fuck you. And I get in the middle of them just to break them up. And before anything even happens, nothing even happens. I'm like, stop. I'm getting pepper sprayed for no reason in my eye. I feel this ice cold liquid going in my eyeballs. And I'm thinking, what's going on? I mean, it doesn't hurt right away. It's just ice cold. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And all of a sudden it hits you. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, ah. And it just starts burning. And next thing you know, I'm getting handcuffed. And he's like, you're under arrest for disorderly conduct. And I'm sitting there, my eyes are burning for 45 minutes. It felt like I can't see. They ended up giving me a ticket. They didn't take me to jail, but they gave me a ticket. And I had to show up in court. And they let me go. So I don't even know what happened. Somehow some girls knew where my brother was. We ended up picking my brother up because he ran. He left me there. He just ran, and me and Bruce were handcuffed, and the other guy was. And we go to this girl's apartment, and I've been drinking all night, and I gotta pee. So first thing I do is I get out of the car, I go behind a dumpster in the apartment, and it's cold outside. So I'm shrinkage, so I have to go in there and have to look for the poor little guy to get him out. Well, what was the very first thing I did when I got pepper sprayed? I grabbed my face and eyeballs. So my balls and dick are burning so bad now. So now it's just a fucking nightmare. So I end up going into, they put me in the shower, and then they call I don't know, poison control line or whatever. And they're like, whatever you do, don't get in the shower. I was already in the fucking shower because now it's running down my whole body. All this habanero pepper oils going all the way down my whole body, making everything burn. It was a fucking nightmare. And then I tried to fight it in court, and I lost because I'm like, I didn't even do anything. And that fucking cop just lied the whole time. The cop said I was fighting, and they had to break me up, and I was fighting to get back at him, and they kept breaking me up, and then I knocked him off his bicycle, and then he peppered me with pepper spray. And I'm like, that is not even fucking true at all. That's not even what happened at all. So I ended up having a misdemeanor on my record and paying a few $100. So, yeah.
That's why they all should wear cameras.
Yes, exactly. That was early on, and he just lied. It was awful. Fuck the police.
Dude, so Jeremy, have you ever been arrested or in trouble with the law, man?
No, I'm pretty clean. I got pulled over once, and the cops were dicks. And I've been pulled over 3 times, and then the one time that I actually probably should have been arrested or something, they couldn't prove it, so then they were pissed off to give me a fix-a-ticket. But I was super fucking mad because I was like 2 doors away from my house.
Jeez.
And it was so like I lived in Tucson for a little bit, and it was like 3 o'clock at night. I was like, I probably wasn't like super baked, but I was high. My eyes were red. So, I was driving home, and I saw a cop car like pass by me, and I was like, all right, cool. Like I have my blinker on, I'm gonna make a left-hand turn, and I saw them like look at me and then make a left-hand turn up another light. And I'm like, these fuckers. So I go right in front of my house, and I'm like almost there, and then they pull me over, and they're like, can we look in your car? No. Before they do that, they come out, and they have their lights flashing at me. Again, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, so it's bright. And they're like,
you can't see anything.
And they come out with like their guns already unholstered. And I'm like, what's up? And then they're like making fun of me because the light's bright in my fucking eyes, and I'm like, could you not do that? Like, you scared of light? It's you have your flashlight and your high beam behind me.
Yeah.
It's such like
yeah.
that's not the right response.
No.
Like if a cop says that, what are you scared of the light? Then like they're fucking with you.
Yeah. So they're just complete dickheads. And so then they're like, start trying to look around the car, and I'm like, can we look in your car? No. Like, well, can you open your door? It looked like you put your hand over here when we came up. I'm like, yeah, I rolled the window down for you. You open your door? No. So I did all the correct things, and they couldn't give me a ticket. They couldn't give me any issues or anything. So they gave me a fix-a ticket for my license plate light being out apparently.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Which then, me being an immature kid at 20 didn't really do very much about it. But like 6 years later, it ended up being a $1,500 ticket and my license being suspended for 6 months. Which then I thought I fixed. But then, actually, like earlier this year, my wife's like, we need to get Texas IDs. I was in Texas for a little bit. I went to get a new ID, and they're like, oh, your license is suspended. It's been suspended since 2020. And I'm like, so Arizona never unsuspended my license from me paying the ticket that I didn't really know that I had, but they suspended it for me paying it, but kept it suspended.
Jeez.
So I had to call them and pay them like another $150 for them to unsuspend it. And then I didn't end up getting the Texas ID. Then we moved to California, so yeah, fuck that anyway.
Where you at? Are you in California right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So no. So Chris, that's my worst experience of the law. Otherwise, I've just been pulled over. I'm not a crazy or rambunctious person at all.
Same. Yeah, I've only been pulled over probably 3 or 4 times. Yeah, knock on wood. But nice.
Yeah, it's so weird because I've had so many run-ins with police that I'm so tainted by them. Like I have almost zero respect for police officers. I mean, like I do, but I understand, and it would be stupid of me to say that all police officers are the same because it's dumb to say that. But I've just never had good experience with a cop. One time did I have somebody who wasn't ridiculous with me for no reason, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I work for my dad, testing backflow on the side of the road, or it could be anywhere in neighborhoods, and I've had so many problems with cops coming up to me saying, ask me what I'm doing. I go, I'm working. I'm testing this backflow. This is what I do. I have a gauge with hoses hooked up to the backflow. It's obvious that I'm working. What do you want? He's like, well, look, these get stolen all the time. And I will tell him, then I get mouthy with them because I'm like, but I'm obviously not stealing. I have a gauge and a screwdriver. I'm testing this thing.
Like you have a work truck parked in the street right next to you as well, right?
Well, I don't have that's what he said. Well, your truck's unmarked, so it's just a white truck, no markings on it. Well, I go, guess what? Because I only do this for my dad one day a week, and I don't want to put shit all over my truck. So I'm testing it. It's obvious that I'm testing it. He goes, well, and he starts filling out this thing. It's like, well, I need you to sign this in case this ever gets stolen. We know who to come to. I'm like, I'm not fucking signing that. I go, I'm not signing that at all. I go, I'm not doing that shit. And I go, why don't you let me do my job? He goes, why don't you let me do my job? I go, your job is not to harass hardworking Americans, is it? Because that's not your fucking job, So I have an issue because I will be nice. I'm always instantly nice with cops until they start being dicks, which is normally 20 seconds into the conversation, and then I start fucking talking shit back.
Well, I'll tell you that not all cops are dicks. One of my best friends' dad's a cop, and he's like one of the best cops ever. Just like the stories he tells, and he's just like the coolest dude. But he does tell me that some cops are, they're just dickheads and they just are mean, and it's just unfortunately there's just enough. There's just enough of them that like it washes out the great ones that the great ones aren't doing the dumb shit and aren't annoying you and harassing you. So that's why we don't see them or hear them.
Yeah,
just unfortunate.
Well, it makes sense that they're like there's a certain percentage of people that are assholes. Right, like
just people at your work are assholes, right?
Yeah, right. Let's say it's 20% are like lame people who cheat the system that do whatever.
Or just shitty.
It might be, high. It might be higher or lower than that. Well, that same 20% of people are also cops, right? Like, so 20% of cops are going to be bad, and it's like those are going to overshadow any of the you never hear about the good stories.
Yeah.
It's always about the It's always about the bad reviews.
Well, and those are the videos we watch the most. Are the ones where the cop is being a dick, So
there's nothing more boring than a cop being like
a nice guy, right?
Nice.
Or hey, let's bring this
shit.
This kid a bike because the cop noticed him walking to school the last 10 months. But no one wants to watch that shit. We want to watch that guy get tased just like he did, and so we can laugh at it. But yeah.
Cops give kids teddy bears all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not watching that shit.
Dude, I remember when we were kids, remember the cops used to hand out like little baseball cards or football cards or whatever. They had some sort of thing that, cops would hand out cards to kids.
Because we lived in the ghetto, right?
Yeah,
that's what it was. That's why they would do that. Yeah. I feel like they weren't doing that in
and that's why I say
nicer parts of town.
I don't believe all cops are shitty, but I've had mostly shitty experiences. I've had a cop where I'm testing the backflow and he's like, "Oh, you testing this backflow?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I could see you're doing your job good. Have fun." I'm like, "Why can't you all do that? Why can't they all do that?"
Yeah,
it's obvious that I'm doing it.
People calling cops on you for doing your job? Is that kind of what
are they just if they are, they haven't told me that. And normally I'm in like construction sites a lot. You know what I mean? Or corners of homeowners association neighborhoods. Sometimes in just wherever. I mean, they're just being dicks. That's all they are. They just saw me doing this and they wanted to stop me. That's what's going on.
Dude, that's I've watched so many videos of cops saying like they've seen some we got a call about a suspicious car.
Right.
And that's why they, pulling up to the guy who's on his, he works nights. He's got a 45-minute lunch break. He's taking it in his car.
Right.
And which, dude, when I worked in manufacturing, I would drive across the street to the McDonald's and sleep.
Yep.
For 45 minutes. Like that's what I would do. And it wasn't nights, but and they'd be like, "Well, listen, we got a call, we got to file a report." And it's like that doesn't justify you needing my ID. That doesn't justify you like questioning me. Like as soon as you realize that I'm just a dude in a car like taking a break, like walk away. Like just because someone called doesn't mean that you get to like fleece me from my freaking identification and like file a report and do whatever. You know? It's like, no, that doesn't like sure you got a call. You show up, you ask, you realize immediately, like you use critical thinking that you should have as an officer. And then you like within 12 seconds, you're like, okay, cool. Goodbye.
But we know everyone doesn't have critical thinking, Chris.
But they should.
A lot of people at our company don't have critical thinking.
But that's why I agree. I think they shouldn't be cops. I mean, there's a lot of people like there's teachers who shouldn't be teachers, coaches who shouldn't be coaches,
priests who shouldn't be priests.
Priests who shouldn't be priests. Exactly.
Yeah.
Software engineers who shouldn't be software engineers.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, he's great.
I've been faking it for years.
He's great.
That's it. Fake it till you make it.
Well, guys, we should wrap this up.
And then I'll wrap it up with beat LA. That's the goal this week.
Oh
beat
God,
LA.
I hope so. Yes, I hate the Dodgers. All right,
fun times. We'll do it again.
Yeah, let me know.
All right, fellas.